Hi, everybody. This is Charlie chatting, and welcome to A Lot of Thoughts podcast, the podcast that will spark conversations with yourself and get you started on your own journey of self-discovery. Hi, welcome to the third episode of A Lot of Thoughts podcast. If you are new here, welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you're all doing well and are staying safe. I just actually finished recording another episode for another podcast channel which I share with my best friends Agnes and Mika. It's called 3 Cups Full. And in our latest episode, we talked about managing stress, handling frustrations, and overall just overwhelming emotions, which kind of led me to tonight's journal entry that I want to share with you. Because, sometimes we just have our off days. We're just like so tired or so burnt out that we just feel unmotivated or uninspired to do creative things or to just function normally, right? So I want to go back to this journal entry where I experienced the same thing. I was physically tired, mentally exhausted, and just overwhelmed with my emotions. Actually, this journal entry was turned into a blog because I used to write blogs a couple of years back, and this blog entry was entitled Honest Conversations with God. So I'm going to read that journal entry, and I hope that you can all relate to this one. Blog entry July 4, 2019. Honest Conversation with God. There are days when you just need to give yourself a good cry, and today was one of those days. I had a raw and honest conversation with God this morning, and this is what I wrote in my journal. Honestly, Lord, it's so hard to be a Christian. The load and weight that comes with it, to live a life of integrity, to keep a clean heart, to love the unlovable, it's insanely hard. It's so hard to say sorry when I don't feel the need to. It's so hard to give and give and give and try not to fall into the self-pity hole. It's so hard to keep the right attitude when deep inside I just want to be done with it. So Lord, let me just cry my heart out to you, acknowledging that I am tired, angry, and frustrated. Admitting that I am struggling to do the right thing. I may know all these head knowledge about you and your word, but doing it is another thing. But you know what? I am deciding to do it anyway. Because you showed me how it is to love me when I am hard to love. You freely forgive even if I don't ask for it. You cut me off some slacks and make room for me to be human. When I think about this kind of love that you have for me, there I find strength to forgive and to love again. Okay, break from reading the blog entry. Just to give you a context, obviously when I wrote this journal entry, I was so tired. At first, it was only physical. I was physically tired, but then eventually it reached my mind. Kasi 'di ba sometimes ganun, kapag pagod na pagod tayo, it also affects our mental state and the way we perceive things. Paminsan pag pagod ka, parang naisip mo, ano ba yan? Ako na lang parate gumagawa ng lahat ng mga to. And then eventually it leads to self-pity. Ako na lang parate, gumagawa lahat ng bagay dito, walang tumutulong sa akin. I'm always giving my 100%, all my efforts, pero walang return. And eventually, it also branches out yung negative thinking mo towards the people you are working with or the people you are living with. Pag nakikita mo sila, parang naiinis ka na, parang naisip mo, ano ba yan, di man lang kumilos, ako na lang parate, lahat na lang inaasa sa akin. there's also an added pressure. Kasi when you're a Christian, parang sometimes there's an expectation na you can't be this negative towards other people, or sometimes you can't really harbor negative feelings, which added to your guilt na, oh my gosh, I'm a Christian. I shouldn't be feeling this way. I shouldn't be, thinking about other people this way. So, eto, yun yung part na sinasabi ko kay God na it's so hard to be a Christian when, when your human nature is, just really coming out and going up on the surface, and you can't be quote unquote Christian right now. Parang ganon. So yon, I guess I was just really being honest and raw to God when I wrote this one. Yeah, that's the context. Anyway, I will go back to reading the blog entry. This is my emotional talk with God this morning. I wanted to share this to somehow encourage you to come as you are to Him. Come as tired, come as angry, or come as dispirited. You are no surprise to Him. He knows your heart even before you utter a single word. Second, to hearten that even if the Christian life is not easy, we still need to choose to make the right decision, especially in the middle of hurt, disappointment, or frustration. When things are stressful, it's so easy to blame the other person or to take the easy route, which is to give up. But these are the moments where we need to make the tougher choice. If we want to see better days or to reap right results, we need to do the right thing even if we don't feel like it. Lastly, I want to encourage you that even when life really sucks, we have a good God who bends down and listens. He knows what we are going through and that we don't have to go through this alone. End of my blog entry. Actually, this is not the end of the blog entry pala, kasi I also attach a Bible verse towards the end, which I'm also going to share it with you later on. But yeah, I was very emotional. Obviously, I was physically exhausted and it was taking a toll on me and on my mental state at this moment. But then again, I was reminded that as Christians, we don't have to go through this alone. It's okay to be emotional. God understands that you're tired, that you're frustrated, that you're angry, and that you can have negative feelings. You are allowed to experience that. And sometimes we feel guilty of harboring these negative feelings or thinking this way. But then, I just want to encourage you, if you're listening right now, that when you're tired or angry, stressed out, or frustrated, that's okay. You can come to God as you are. You don't need to pretend to be positive. You don't need to wait until you're okay before you can pray. Just come to Him as you are. God can handle you. And I think, yeah, that's the main point of this episode. I just want to remind you that God can handle you. He created you and He knows you inside and out, and you can't really hide anything from Him. And there's really no point hiding your feelings from an all-knowing God. So, yeah, that's I guess just what I wanted to say. When you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're frustrated, just go to God, cast it all to Him. Just be transparent and be honest. He can take that all in. You don't need to pretend to be somebody else. And just know that you are not alone. God is with you. And after you talk to Him, you can also go talk to a trusted loved one or your best friend, somebody who can listen to you without judging you. So, yeah, I think that's what I wanted to share tonight. And I just want to also share to you this verse, which I also attached to my blog entry. It's from Psalms chapter 73, verses 21 to 28. This is the NLT version. Verse 21, Then I realized that my heart was bitter and I was all torn up inside. I was so foolish and ignorant. I must have seemed like a senseless animal to you, yet I still belong to you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, leading me to a glorious destiny. Whom have I in heaven but you? I desire you more than anything on earth. My health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. Verse 27, Those who desert him will perish, for you destroy those who abandon you. But as for me, how good it is to be near God. I have made the sovereign Lord my shelter, and I will tell everyone about the wonderful things you do. Yeah, and then I ended my blog entry with this line. Though the sorrow may last for the night, his joy comes with the morning. At the end of it, I felt so much lighter and so much better after talking to someone that I know will listen to me or will not judge me. So, yeah, I also hope and I pray that you also find a safe place where you can be honest and that you can just be yourself. Whether that's God, whether that's your family or a friend or your journal notebook, I just really hope that you have that, safe zone where you can be yourself. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that this episode was also helpful and that something that you can relate to, and I hope that you can also join me again next time. Bye!